these workspaces are getting inherently a lot more popular. And I want to ask you if there's like a story that comes to mind, maybe from an Industrious member or a team member that's worked at Industrious that, create something within Industrious that's very special today. Is there any cool stories you can share with the audience?
Well, a couple of different ones. The first is we've had many Industrious members meet each other and get married to each other. So this
That's
is
so
less about
cool.
creating a business, but we have had so many couples, have their origin stories at Industrious. A few people have actually even chosen to get married in Industrious spaces, which
Oh,
takes it to a
wow.
whole new level. But yeah, I think on a business level, people grow their businesses at Industrious all the time. In particular, we have two members in Pittsburgh who both, before coming to Industrious, ran small but healthy and established professional services firms. One was a small law firm, one was like a PR and communications firm. They both joined the same Industrious location in Pittsburgh. First, they became personal best friends. They just liked each other. They would have their lunch together. They would hang out at happy hour together. And then they actually merged their businesses and they said, you know what, the kinds of clients we're serving, typically when they need legal help, they also need PR help. Those are moments of trouble for companies. Let's make one combined firm that gives clients a one-stop shop. And now they run the company together as co-founders. They met at Industrious, they created their company together, they've now scaled it. And that happens all over the country and really all over the world.
Yeah, I think it's a great play. It's a great thing to underscore there is like you're an individual working at a co-working space. You see another individual sharing the same pain, building their company, and then you're meeting alignment there and like what you're building today. And I think that's a unique marketplace that you guys build and put people on I should say, on a collaboration that they can go build companies together because you're all sharing the same pain, working remotely, being in an industrious environment, and there's a lot of opportunity to go meet other like-minded people who are building companies today.
That's true. And I think it holds true for larger companies as well. I mean, we have our fair share of solopreneurs and people who own their own companies. But it's not the majority of our business. The majority of our business are established companies that have been around 8, 9, 10, 12 years, whether it's an 8-person digital marketing firm or a massive bank. And those companies also benefit from being around their peers, whether it's business development, getting inspiration from their neighbors, or just like getting data points of what else is out there in the world that they may not be getting from their own team.
I want to dive into a little bit more like the scalability of what you built over here at Industrious. When I look at you, I hear a lot about the hyper growth aspect and what you've done there. 300 locations is massive, and you have to go get commercial leases, buy buildings, whatever it may be, build that construction out to build an Industrious. And to do that mass scale is no easy task. Walk us through the scalability of Industrious and how you guys got to 300 locations.
So we, for the first 8 years of the business, we grew the business 120% year over year, every single year.
Wow.
Then COVID happened. That was kind of a lost year. But since COVID, we've scaled really rapidly. So every year has been an exercise in how do you grow the business, which requires reinventing process while keeping or even improving the quality of what we're offering and not breaking the team in the meantime. I think for us, the most important lesson in that has been identifying what processes have to actually scale. I think when people think about scaling companies, they think everything has to scale. Like, okay, everything we're doing needs to be able to operate at 10x the size it is today. And it's just not true. So to your point on, for example, designing and constructing spaces, we needed very early on to figure out how are we actually going to figure out how to draw 60 floor plans at a time in a given week to evaluate potential new spaces we're taking on. We didn't need to figure out how to necessarily do interior aesthetic design for 60 spaces all at one time, because that comes later in the process. There are many fewer that we're doing of those at any time. So I think for us, it's what actually has to scale. And as I reflect on it, the most important things have been, how do we scale our landlord relationships? I mean, we don't buy buildings and we don't sign straight leases like an apartment. They're all partnership agreements with landlords where we're in business with them. So we and the landlord together are taking the financial risk of the location, and we're both splitting the revenue or the profit from that location. So we had to scale. How do you develop these relationships with landlords? How do you deliver them the business insights they need? How do we make sure that we're able to scale our pipeline?